Hi everyone, welcome back to the Stay Hungry podcast. It's Joel and Andy, and today we're talking about using AI to generate better copy. Andy, how you doing?
You know you shouldn't have asked that because I'm in tremendous pain.
Well, that's why I asked it.
Oh, that's
I
very
was
kind of you.
really looking forward to it.
Here we go. I'll tell you how it started.
Okay.
Is it weird like people will say, "Oh, how are you?" or "How's business?" Like you don't care. Cut to the chase. Hi, my name's Andy Rao. I'd like to talk to you about an advertising opportunity. Just none of that.
No,
shit.
I like the whole. What's the thing I keep reading at the moment? I've been folding clothes with people still in them.
Oh yeah, or is it hitting people with a planet or some
Hitting
stuff
people with a planet.
Yeah,
What does that mean?
It's probably the wrong way around. Hitting like
Hitting the planet
throwing.
with people.
Yeah, there
Hitting
we go.
the planet with people. Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a Chuck Norris thing about that as well.
Yeah, Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups. He does earth push-downs or something. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good. Was that on top of your head?
Yeah.
Is that a real one?
That's a real one.
That's really good. Bloody hell. Yeah, I'm in pain anyway. Yeah, jiu-jitsu last night, double session, basically twice the age of everyone there, almost combined. And yeah, I don't recover as quick as I used to. Put it that way.
You go out of choice.
That's what Emma says. Just not as politely as that.
Fuck off, you go out of choice.
Stop fucking moaning.
Go and have a bath.
Go make me tea. Yeah.
That's never happened.
Well, I mean a cup of tea, not not cooking, Joel. You know, I'm purely in an advisory capacity in that area of the house. In fact, when she tells me about the kitchen, she's like, "Yeah, the kitchen. You know that place next to the toilet?" And it's like, "Oh, that's funny."
Do you know we're nearly 300 episodes into this?
Shit.
Right. Wait for it. And of the probably 250 me and you have done together, I always ask you how you are, and you never ask me how I am.
I'm being authentic, Joel. You ought to spat your coffee out there.
I think I did.
Not down your nice jumper that's got a yak on it or something. A moose.
A moose, yeah.
A moose?
This is my animal jumper that I bought in Mexico that made me happy.
That shitty old pub on Frankwell Island that's been converted into an Indian restaurant. It's going to be called...
Oh, the black and white pub?
Yeah. It's been converted for like months. Still hasn't opened, I don't think. And it's called the Yak and the Yeti. And Maddie said, "Oh, why they called it that?"
From the Himalayas.
And I said, "Well, Yeti." I says, "Yeah, that's Nepalese." But the yak, I was thinking...
Yeah, yaks are from there too.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking like the plains of America or something.
That's bison. We've had this conversation today already.
Is that the same as a cow? Fucking hell.
Buffalo and bison, plains of America. Yak is like mountainous.
What's the difference in a buffalo and a bison?
Letters.
Do you think anyone's still listening to this podcast? They tuned in to learn about how to craft better messages with AI.
So Americans call bison buffalo, and you have Eurasian bison and American bison, and an American bison is a buffalo. That's the real answer.
Dear reader or listener or what?
This is what Andy has to deal with every day.
Can you imagine what it's like being in Joel's head?
That's fact.
Do you ever used to read the Numbskulls? Was it in the Dandy or Beano?
No.
And it was basically...
Didn't read comics.
I was
onto the encyclopedia by then.
There was a guy, and basically there were little people living in his head. So one operated the eyes, one operated the ears, and they were called the Numbskulls.
Okay.
And then they turned it into an American sitcom in the early 90s called Herman's Head.
Oh, okay. So there's a Pixar film that's a bit like that, and they're like the four emotions in someone's head.
Oh, okay. Well, like you, there'd be no room, just all this knowledge.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about AI as well as fucking the difference between buffalo and yetis?
I'm getting there.
I think everyone's gone now.
Yeah. Anyone still there? Pleased that we've...
Mum?
Buffalo, bison, yak, yeti, jiu-jitsu, zero fucking AI.
Oh, sorry.
Far.
How are you, Joel?
Well, I'm all right, thank you.
Oh, I never asked you.
Well,
You make me sound like a really bad person now.
well, it's about time people
And I'm only
realise.
slightly bad.
Yeah. Anyway, so I get the reason we're doing this episode is AI's here to stay. I think it was a bit like when the internet first came out. A few people, it's just a fad, and also like, no, people are like the cards on the table. People are going to lose their jobs. That's going to happen.
We've already sacked 3 people. Saved us fortunes.
A lot of processes that we never realised would be automated will be automated. Things are it's going to accelerate at such a speed in the next few years that you can't even imagine what life's going to be like in a couple of years' time. Like, it would be like going back 30 years now and trying to explain an iPad to someone. That's the speed of acceleration we're going to see and the change.
Could you imagine, like, someone like my mother-in-law? We talked about her earlier. Don't know why. And she's 88 or something. So she was born in 35. So
Yeah.
can you imagine what she's seen? She's literally gone from remembering like the war, and like no real sort of heating and things like that.
Yeah, like a back boiler on the back of a coal fire.
To like to television. Obviously the radio's around, but to television, to the internet, social media, iPads, and she knows her way around the iPad and her iPhone. It's amazing. And it's like, fuck, you've seen so much.
So like the AI experts are saying that 80-year rate of change we're going to see every 2 to 3 years now.
Shit.
Because by 2030, one computer will be as intelligent as the entire human race. And so
Bloody hell.
the rate of change will just be
So here's a question then. So why is so much business copy out there
shit.
still shit if they're using AI? Because let's face it, every man and his dog
So
is using AI.
I think there's two main reasons. One, consider that the tools that they're letting us muggles have, us mere mortals have, are nothing like the tools that top military and intelligence services have available to them at the moment. So when you're asking Claude or ChatGPT to write you a blog, you're asking something with a limited level of intelligence and a limited level of point of reference. You're not asking a supercomputer. The other side that people don't seem to realise is it's only as good as what you teach it. It's only as good as the input you give it. So
people not realise. I mean, inputs and outputs. Do people not realise that?
well, I we've both been in the agency game one way or another for 30 years ish, and it's just, like when you brief a designer, the result you get from the designer is only as good as the brief you give them. You're like, I'd like a logo, like, this is my life experience. I'd like a logo. I don't really know what I like, but I do know what I don't like.
Can you make the font a bit bigger?
Yeah. Well, what don't you like? Well, things that are loud. What does that mean? If you brief AI in the same way, I'd like a 400-word blog about dog biscuits. You're like, I'd like a 400-word blog about dog biscuits. I don't really like blogs that are angry. Enter. You're going to get a shit output.
Because I mean, people are using. Well, I guess ChatGPT is the most well-known one for writing blogs, website copy, writing emails for email marketing, writing social media posts and social media ads. We know now, obviously, with say Facebook ads, you write your primary text in, and it will automatically generate some alternatives
6 or 7 alternatives
for you to add into the mix. But you look at them, you don't just upload them willy-nilly. Some of them need some serious editing. So, like you say, that level of AI certainly is not perfect, which maybe people don't realise yet, that some human effort will still be involved.
Yeah. I guess software developers, people like that, will have more understanding of the idea that intelligence is only useful to you if you give it a prompt it can interpret and use. And so you might be using the smartest system in the world, but if what you ask it for is a shit question, you're going to get a shit answer.
Reminds me of one of my favourite Star Trek episodes. Next Generation, do you do that? Any of that?
At what point do I need to tell you I've never watched an entire episode of Star Trek?
Apart from the original series with Kirk.
None.
Fucking hell, Joel. Excuse the long pause. I'm shocked by that.
Yeah, never.
Anyway, there's a character called Geordie LaForge in the Next Generation.
Oh, yeah.
Black guy with a visor, can't see.
Does his visor go red?
That's Cylons. Battlestar Galactica. Or Kit.
No. Did he have red uniform?
At one point, but then he became head of engineering, so he was yellow. Red's for security. Is this some kind of funny joke? Or you're staggered that I know that? You just told me you know fucking everything about fucking cows.
My wife runs a zoo.
Or bison or whatever.
What's your excuse? Your wife's on the SSS Enterprise, whatever it's called.
USS. So anyway, Geordie and basically the robots that knows everything, right, called Data. They're on the Enterprise, and they go into the holodeck where you can recreate any scene you want. So, right, let's go into 1980s San Francisco, and it's like a whole new hologram-generated world, right? And they like going to the Sherlock Holmes world, and Data is Sherlock Holmes, and Geordie is Watson. And obviously the big baddie in Sherlock Holmes is Moriarty, right? But basically they defeat Moriarty really easily. So Geordie reprograms a holodeck, and he goes, give me a baddie that's capable of beating Data, when he meant to say capable of beating Sherlock Holmes. So the baddie was generated that could basically fool and kill this super intelligent android. So just that one wrong command almost destroyed the Enterprise. Amazing episode. I'll send it to you.
I mean, if the bison talk didn't kill off this episode, you've definitely finished off now.
I'm just surrounded by Philistines.
So, I guess like when you're getting into
Make your prompts relevant. That's what I'm trying to say.
know your audience. I'm about to say.
It's quite hard to explain Star Trek to someone who has such
an interest in bison.
such little appreciation's the word. Appreciation of
What?
science fiction. Well, not Star Trek. The whole genre, which is a genre of its own.
Yeah. I just think I fell into. I think I just landed in the wrong era. It didn't really exist in my lifetime.
But Next Generation was 87 to 94.
I was born in '87.
Okay. Deep Space Nine was, I think, 92 to 2000.
The face you're putting, that sounds like it might be a bad one.
It was all right. Got going season 4 when Worf joined, who was a character from the Next Generation.
Right. Know your audience.
Star Trek Voyager,
So,
I think 95 to 2000.
so with AI, it's not just about prompting it to write you a blog. It's about telling it who the blog is for and why. So if you don't know your own audience, you can't expect AI to figure it out for you. Now, there's the other side of that is I'm trying, like, let's say I'm writing a blog. Let's go back to the dog biscuit example. I'm writing a blog for dog owners who want wheat-free dog biscuits for dogs that struggle with wheat. However, I could really do with some help on understanding the demographic of this audience. Who is likely to own dogs with allergy issues in the UK? And AI will help you. Okay, and then you can go back. Now you know that. Please write me a 400-word blog about wheat-free dog biscuits. And that's a much better prompt.
So is the upshot of this entire podcast going to be, don't be so lazy, more, put more thought into the input?
I think if you relate it back to briefing a designer, a copywriter, an architect, the result you get is only going to be as good as the brief you give them. And exactly the same with AI. Treat it like a human.
But the positive there for our listeners surely is, because so many people are using AI badly, there's never been a better time to make your messaging stand out.
Yeah, that's very true. And that's where you have to get really specific about the prompts that you craft as well, and the exclusions. So, like, do not use words such as.
Oh, okay.
And so you might put adjectives in there. You want to reduce.
Oh,
the amount
okay.
of
So
adjectives.
to reflect your tone and
Yeah, or do not use words like trickle if you're a business that doesn't want to use, like, I don't know how to.
Can you go back to my Star Trek story?
How do I get this over? Like, we had an example yesterday where we're working with a very macho business, for want of a better phrase, and there was a reference to a sparkler in the copy, and we basically said, like, AI, we would never use the word sparkler in relation to this client because they would just
doesn't
wouldn't.
suit. Yeah, it doesn't suit.
Think fire, explosions, dynamite, not sparkler and party popper sort of thing. And that, so you can be that specific. You can tell it what you want and what you don't want. And then if you want to get really specific on your prompts, you can also give it examples of stuff that is already good. So you could say, I've also copied and pasted 3 excerpts from blogs that are 99% close to what I want.
So already the stuff you just shared, I can think of so many people who'd be like going, oh, fucking hell, I thought it's supposed to make it easier. Well, if you think about it, spending 5 minutes doing that is a lot easier than spending half a day writing a blog yourself. So you still are going to save a lot of time, but it's not the miracle cure that could be achieved in seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, being a leader of a business, being a business owner, is essentially about being a good communicator. And that goes to if you're talking to a human or a robot. In your team, you're only going to get out as good as what you put in. In your AI, you're only going to get out as good as what you put in. In your customers, you're only going to get out as good as what you put in. And if you think there's a shortcut for that, there never will be. There just never will be. Like, at some point you've got to put the legwork in, and if it's not legwork, it'll be thought. You've got to put the thought in. You've got to come up with the concept in the first place, and it's no different. So,
yeah, I mean, how long have we been in the game? When did Facebook ads come around? Because we were in it from the beginning, really, weren't we? 2012, no?
Yeah. So, I remember doing my first one. 12 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we think we've been doing this a decade, I don't think I've ever seen so many poorly written ads. Now, obviously, not everyone's using AI for their ads. I get that, but it's like, holy shit! If you can write a good ad, and you know your audience, of course, it always starts with knowing your market. And if you can write a good ad with an image that stops the scroll, you'll be ahead of 90% of your competitors. I mean, you had a phone call with a potential client this morning, and you were looking at his ads and his organic social media posts, and they were shocking.
Yeah, 4 out of 10.
And he was still winning business. So I said, well, imagine if you made these few tweaks, you could almost like triple your business without spending any more money.
Yeah. And that's where the AI thing becomes really powerful for you as a business owner, where it becomes like a feedback loop. So it's not just, you're not just running it past a colleague anymore. You can, without giving too much of the game away, you could be like, these are my last 5 Facebook ads. Number 2 and number 4 were the best performing, based on the information I've given you, and you could then, go into cost per lead, ROAS, really give it some serious input. Write me an ad that will outperform any of them. And it can do that.
Give me a bad, it's capable of beating Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. But that feedback loop's amazing. And then the feedback loop works both ways. So then it gives you the ad, and you don't just sit there. You then tell it what's great about what it's done and what's bad about what it's done and why. And then say, please address this based on my feedback, and go again. And
I imagine you'd still split test it. So say you end up with this allegedly amazingly written ad, you'd still A/B test it.
Yeah, so I would always A/B test that. Let's call it the AI ad versus the human ad. And the human ad, I would deliberately write in casual language. You wouldn't have grammatical mistakes, but you'd go very casual.
Okay.
And like in a way that AI currently can't match, because if you want to test it, bang some copy into AI and then say, please write this in a casual tone of a 15-year-old skateboarder, you'll get like cowabunga dude back.
Right. Okay.
Because it's got no point of reference yet. It will have, and it will get better. And once it harvests all the user information, this is what 16-year-olds are asking me for, this is what 17-year-olds are asking me for, this is what 18-year-olds are asking me for, it'll get really, really smart. But right now, it doesn't have that point of reference. So.
It's just amazing. I mean, I've received, I think, 2 emails today from people offering their AI services.
Yeah.
There's a guy I know, really nice guy, and he used to, or may still run, like one of those photo booth franchises. And he's now set himself up as an AI expert, and he's basically like an AI freelancer or consultant. And you're going to see these experts everywhere. Now, this guy, Ian, knows his stuff. Some of the other people out there, they don't. So just be very wary of, no matter what jargon someone uses, they might not be an AI expert.
Like, I'm a marketing expert, to be clear, who knows...
Well, you're a marketer.
Who knows... who knows probably a bit more than he should about AI. And there's a difference between that and an AI. Like, we've seen someone on stage take AI, run it through a load of programs I won't bore you with to capture data from 6 or 7 different data points to churn out a result. That's an AI integration expert, someone who can, borderline software developer. That's like elite level AI integration. What we're talking about here is like ground level, using AI to make your life easier, to get more done to a standard that's better than what you would normally do, faster than what you would normally do. And yet most people are, well, a lot of the kickback, oh, AI shit, you can tell that's AI. That's not the AI's fault. That's the user's fault.
Yeah, it's like people moaning about bloody, oh, that Facebook ad shit. Oh, Facebook's crap. Well, Facebook didn't write the fucking ad. It's the advertiser, or I'm not a target audience. I go, well, it's not it's not Facebook's fault. It's the advertiser that has told Facebook who to target.
Yeah, and like newsflash, everyone, with the way Google and Facebook targeting is having to adjust because of GDPR and various changes and stuff, the success of your ads is 90% about the copy and the creative now, and 10% about the audience.
So that it resonates with the people it's supposed to, and almost like doesn't stand out or pushes away the people it won't be relevant to.
And then obviously the Facebook AI algorithm learns who's engaged with it and shows it to more people like that based on what you wrote and the visuals that you used, not based on I want to target 30-year-old people with 2 cats that live in Denver, because
well, in our academy, that it's roughly split into market, message, media, the 3 rules of long-term marketing success, and the message part, the middle part, is a significant chunk, because I think it just gets so overlooked because everyone can write.
Yeah.
But just because you can write to your mates and you can text to your mates and maybe bang an email together, that doesn't mean you can write copy that sells, copy that converts. Again, AI is a tool there that could be used, but yeah, it's like you say, it's only as good as the inputs you're willing to learn to put in alongside that little bit of effort.
Yeah.
And we know that when it comes to marketing something, one of the things we look at in that marketing chain are where are the potential pain points, the bits that might require the potential customer to put some effort in to complete, to get to the end of the process. If it's something like, okay, e-commerce store and don't have PayPal, something like that, that's a little pain point. That pain of someone getting off the sofa to go and get their wallet, to put their credit card in, that could be enough to stop someone from buying.
Yeah, if you haven't got Apple Pay and Google Pay on your store, have a word with yourself. But it's really interesting what you say there as well about kind of that A/B test scenario, because prior to AI, we've always had good copywriters in our business, and you and I quite like copy as well. But we would never trust ourselves to know the definitive answer. We'd still always A/B test or ABC test. And
sometimes the results are depressing, but follow the money.
That's exactly the point I was about to make, is that you'll think, I've got skin in the game here, I've been doing this long enough, I know that this one is the one that's going to hit, and then it's the other one that hits.
I mean, do you remember how, I know sometimes we still spend, or the guys spend a long time designing like branded imagery for ads, but when we designed a real killer image, but it was way outperformed by a photo of a post-it note, that was a bitter pill to swallow. But again, you follow the money.
Oh, like when people, there was a spell maybe 5 years ago now where people were launching their books, and every Facebook ad was them burning their book, and it was like a shit creative of them just chucking their book in a bin and setting it on fire.
What am I missing there? What's the fucking point of that?
Well, you don't like negative positivity. We've talked about this today already.
Like
Andy doesn't like that Michael Jackson was bad or anything.
He was
sick.
good.
So it's negative positivity. It's so hot it's on fire type.
Like the KLF, like burning £1 million, or was that just stupid?
Well, that was stupid.
Yeah.
But not a dissimilar. If a guru is on ads burning money, it tells the people watching they can afford to burn the money. Like, I think if you were to launch a book today and the headline was "Do not read this book" and the visual was you pressing a detonator and the book blowing up, you'd sell more books than a picture of the book.
But do you think that's the ongoing pressure, that what's the thing that's going to fool the algorithms or appeal to people this week, and then it's something new next week.
Yeah,
That
if
shiny
that's the
object.
game you want to get in, that is the pressure that comes with it. Same with organic social media. Same with like press-based journalism, where you want to like please people on a Monday, but they're not going to read it on a Tuesday type thing. You're in that like hyper-capitalist, disposable world, and you're always going to be reinventing yourself. Generally, the clients we work with and people that come into our academy would rather a steady and more predictable flow. So we talk about the fundamentals, and it's like you need to resonate with your audience. You need to use visuals that resonate with your audience, or stop them scrolling past. You need to write copy that resonates with your audience and shows that you empathise with their pain points. Don't worry about burning books and post-it notes. I mean, post-it note might work, but don't worry about the latest trend. Yeah, some of your competitors might get a load of leads in week 31 of the year, but you're getting leads throughout the year.
24/7.
Yeah. And
It is difficult because you have got a lot of gurus out there who are saying all you need is organic posting. And as I'm always saying, you know, there are agencies out there telling people they only need organic posting. But ironically, they're telling people this message through a sponsored ad, which sort of
that blows my mind.
defeats the whole argument. But organic posting alone, you know, especially if you're in bed with a couple of influencers, that could do the job. But chances are it's going to require shitloads of work every single day for a long time.
And it's just not true. Ultimately, it's not true. You're shouting into a void. You're still going to have to go and comment on posts in groups and connect with 25 people a day and make sure you connect with everyone you network with and ask people to share your posts. So it's not just organic posting, is it? And then
That's true. And I would say those people, it's got to be less than 10%. The people you see out there who've achieved a lot, chances are they've been fucking working their asses off.
Don't go to a conference and see someone on stage who's made themselves a millionaire through organic. I mean, you could even say this. If someone says, I made myself a millionaire overnight through ads, same thing. There will be an example of someone that's done that, but it's like going to five-a-side and a Premier League footballer showing up and you thinking, well, we're all going to make it to the Premier League. It's just not...
Good analogy.
Not how it works. You go and to a conference to see someone speak on stage to try and take away some gold nuggets. I get that. But don't think that because they've got there, that what they're telling you now will get you there. I think Alex Hormozy talks about all these like multimillionaires, billionaires talking about their morning routines. I get up at 5, I meditate for an hour, I have a gong bath, and then I go for a walk, and then I journal, and then it's 3 in the afternoon, and that's when I start my work. And he was like, that is not how they got rich. That is not how they got successful. That's what they can do now they are. Mm-hmm. And so when you're seeing these gurus stand on the stage and say, oh, I just post in my group once a day and 5 or 6 people buy from me. Yeah, because they use paid ads to get 30,000 people in the group in the first place. Like, it's not, you're being tricked.
Another quick side note, you mentioned gongs there. Yeah. You remember Hunter from the original Gladiators?
Yeah.
That's what he does now. He makes and teaches people how to do those sound gong things. And he's got like thousands of followers, and he's still ripped as well.
Teaches people how to hit a gong?
Well,
like the gong bath thing.
But they're like, yeah, you move a stick or something around, and in a certain way it makes different sounds, all very relaxing. But I think he makes them. He teaches classes on how to use them.
He had a spell with Eureka Johnson, didn't he?
They got a kid, haven't they?
Have they?
I think they have.
Oh, right.
And she's got 4 kids. I think. Don't quote me. They definitely went out. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good genetics.
But yeah, he posted a picture on his Instagram the other day, like himself in Gladiators and him now, 20 odd years later. Fucking hell, he's
still massive.
Yeah, he's really.
You've
ripped.
just watched The Gentleman, haven't you?
Yeah, finish that now.
So Rhino from the original Gladiators is in that.
What?
Mark Smith, I think his name is.
Playing who?
It's not much of a part, but he is in it. If you Google it after.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. I hope they make a second one of those, because it sort of ended.
I loved it.
All these. Well, I need to know what's happening now, but it hasn't been greenlit, the second series.
Yeah, it didn't have that great reviews, but I really enjoyed it.
I can see why Hannah wouldn't. I think if you're not...
She was like, "Why are they talking shit?"
Yeah.
Because it's very poetic and rhythmic the way they talk. She was like, "This is just nonsense."
Yeah.
She thought it was bad acting.
A couple of things between the two, I was like, yeah, 8 episodes. Yeah, it probably could have been like the whole thing about the idiot brothers' new killer strain of weed. That didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, well, you probably could have done 6 episodes, I think, and tightened it up a bit. But yeah, enjoyed that.
Yeah, the idiot brother annoyed me. Right, where are we at?
No idea. Basically, yeah, don't be so lazy.
Stay authentic. That was it. Because
we've
definitely been authentic on this episode.
Authentic. That's up there with manifesting.
Well, yeah.
But I know what you mean. You've got to sound like yourself, otherwise people spot it a mile
It's
off.
like when people start a sentence. To be honest with you, you know they're about to lie, or they're about to say something that they know you won't like. And
to be honest with you, I really enjoy this podcast.
And like, yeah, like speaking authentically, or from a place of authenticity.
Oh, don't fucking hell,
like,
yeah.
I don't mean to offend anyone, and I know some of you have done this, but I just want to be authentic. What you mean is you want to be a bellend.
I'm not racist, but
well, yeah, we're getting into that territory. But what I mean is, if you're going to leave everything to the AI, you got to be really careful that it matches up with your values, what it's saying, and your business values, and the message that you do want to put out there, because it can stray. It's not confined, and if you haven't taught it those things, it will start spouting some nonsense.
And especially to all the lurkers, the people who've been in your community for months, maybe even years, haven't yet bought off you, but over time they've got to know your brand really well, so they'll spot it a mile off.
Yeah.
And suddenly, all this non-authentic shit is coming out because you've used AI badly. They'll be and they'll be gone. So we had someone bar for us. Was it last week? Never knew who they were, but they've been receiving our emails for 2 years. It's like, wow. So if the tone of our emails had changed or was throwing in sentences, oh, that doesn't sound like Joel.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to be really careful that your external influences aren't seeping into it, because if you've only given something 4 or 5 prompts, and one of those prompts was something you'd heard a guru say or a coach or whatever it might be, it will seep into your content, and suddenly you'll look like you're copying them, and there's no intent there. But
yeah, definitely, anyone listening, most of your competitors will be sounding the same, and that's not just because of AI. It's a bit of laziness. It's a bit of a bit guru led, like you say. Oh, I should write like this, or I should use this many hashtags, or whatever it might be. And it's almost like the world has become so fucking noisy. Everyone sounds the same. So this is the opportunity for you now to stand. And that doesn't mean just standing out, being a twat and being divisive, although it is very tempting to do so.
It is a tactic,
that's a quick way to stand out. And some people are generally divisive. Some people are pretending to be to get the clicks and engagement. But yeah, if you can use AI differently, think a bit deeper about who you are, what you do and why, the people you're after, and have that consistency of message, the right people will be like, fucking hell, who is this person? They seem to know their stuff.
Yeah.
They're different, because you will never build a tribe if you look and sound like everyone else.
That's been, I'd say, one of the most disappointing things in business as we've become more successful, is meeting people that I once aspired to and finding out they're not what they say they are. That's...
Yeah, we can probably think of maybe a couple who are, the rest maybe not. It's hard in the coaching world. So you've got lots of coaches who are basically trying to make money by telling other coaches how to be better coaches. And sometimes that can go round and round and round. Before you know it, all these coaches are sounding the same. And once in a while, boom, you'll have someone stand up and say, "Are you fucking fed up of coaches?" And oh, right, you've got my attention now.
Yeah, and that's the same in every industry. That would apply for accountants. I'm sure there's loads of accountants out there. Definitely marketers.
Content creators.
Yeah, but there'll be that many accountants out there thinking they've copied me. They're doing what I do. They're trying to be quirky.
Can you think of a better industry to market than accountants? That the opportunity is huge.
Yeah, because people always need them.
People always need them, but you ask 20 accountants in a room, right? Why should I give you my business? Chances are they'll probably say because I'm professional, because I've got a degree in accountancy, because I'll turn up on time. That's they'll all say the same.
Yeah.
What's going to make you different? What makes you stand out?
If point number one is I'm a good accountant, right? Sound. Point number two, what's your differentiating factor? Because everyone knows what an accountant's meant to do. It's not like marketer, where people think they know what a marketer does, but they're not quite sure, or engineer or architect. You know what they're meant to do, but you're not quite. There's some explaining needed. Accountant generally, well, they do my tax return, don't they? And then go from there. So there's a lot to play with, and as long as you basically can prove that you're compliant and trustworthy, there's so much fun to be had around it.
Yeah, excellent. What else? Okay, now we got like 10. We've gone through a lot here.
Yeah, I think. I mean, on my notes here it says human oversight, but I think we've basically made that pretty bloody clear. And then,
well, how did it come? So I'd seen the notes here like about human oversight, adherence to brand guidelines. So without giving too many secrets away, how would you get the AI to sort of understand what if you have brand guidelines, what they are?
Well, so there's brand guidelines and there's brand guidelines.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean,
let's talk about the latter. Or the former.
So a lot of businesses you meet don't even have brand guidelines. That's not very helpful. Some you'll meet have visual brand guidelines. So it'll be like, only ever use this red. Mm-hmm. Never put this too close to this. Don't flip this upside down. Please use this font. Yada, yada, yada. And then back in my branding days, some brand guidelines were like 300-page manuals. And it would be, these are the adjectives we use. This is the language we use when we're describing this. Here's a glossary of terms for our business. This is how we welcome people when they come to our office. This is how we answer the phone. Like really in depth, really. Like this is the colour value that we send for when something's being embroidered. This is the colour value for paint. This is so it real in depth. All of that stuff you could tell AI. And there are tools out there now, if you're willing to pay for the better tools, where you could just upload your brand guidelines.
Okay, no.
So you wouldn't have to copy and paste it in, you could just upload it.
So we should cover like the tone of voice, the style of writing. Because obviously we can do things like write, in the style of James Patterson, for example. So like short, concise sentences, paragraphs. But fucking hell, right, okay.
Yeah, so
I wonder if many people are paying for AI stuff, or they're just trying to use every freebie out there.
Well, I see a lot of the freebie side of it for sure, and without giving too much away on this, there's so much more you can do if you're willing to invest. But that would be the case with anything.
Yeah, excellent. Well, as luck would have it, obviously you've got your huge AI. The title escapes me now. Killer AI prompts.
Use AI like a pro.
Excellent. Over 200 prompts
for businesses, and it's got like a master prompt in it that basically does some crazy shit.
Excellent. So if you'd like that and a ton of other marketing collateral, just email hello@codebreak.co.uk and we'll send you the link.
Awesome.